All right, so you want to know how to, like, keep your cool when things get heated co-parenting.
This sounds like a good plan.
It's tough, right?
It can be.
So we're diving into this article called Shifting from Reactive to Proactive Communication with a Combative Co-Parent.
Oh, yeah, I read that one.
Yeah, it just came out today, January 26, 2025.
From All Rise Solutions.
Exactly, by Esther Seymour.
Esther Seymour, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's important to say, like, right off the bat, we're not trying to pick sides here or point fingers.
Absolutely not.
Every co-parenting situation is so unique. We
Yeah.
just want to, like, equip you with some practical ways to take control and hopefully dial down the stress.
Yeah, make it easier.
Yeah. So where do you think we should even begin with this?
Well, I think the article does a really good job right at the beginning, sort of explaining what reactive communication is.
Oh, yeah.
And so many of us do it, when we're dealing with a difficult ex. It's that knee-jerk, I just like that emotionally charged response. You get hijacked by your emotions and you fire off that angry text, or you just mirror, the hostility right back at them.
Yeah, like adding fuel to the fire.
Yeah, exactly. And you think it might feel good in the moment to just get it out.
Right.
But over time, it actually makes things way worse. It just escalates everything.
They used to keep going back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah, and it erodes the trust between you and your co-parent, and then you just get stuck in this cycle of negativity.
Yeah, no one wins in that situation.
And the article brings up something I thought was really important.
What's that?
What about the kids?
Okay.
It's so hard on the kids because they pick up on all that tension, and it makes them feel insecure.
Right.
Which can lead to, anxiety and behavioral issues, and you don't want that.
Totally. Kids are like little sponges. They soak up everything around them. But, I think a lot of people listening right now are probably like, well, that's easy to say, don't react. But how do you actually do that when your co-parent is just, like, constantly pushing your buttons?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's so frustrating when you're trying to be the reasonable one and it feels like you're the only one.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we shift that dynamic?
Yeah, well, the article really hits on this key mindset shift, which is so important.
Okay.
You can't change your co-parent.
You can.
No, you can't control them. But what you can control is how you engage with them.
Yeah. You have the power to choose how you respond.
That's where your power lies.
Okay. I like that. So it's about taking control of the narrative instead of letting them control it.
Right. And one of the tools that the article suggests is emotional detachment.
Okay, I've heard that term before, but
It can sound a little bit cold.
it does.
But it's not about, not caring.
No.
It's about creating a healthy boundary between your co-parent's behavior and your own well-being, your own emotional well-being.
So it's more about, like, protecting your own peace.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you don't get, like, swept away in their negativity.
Yeah, it's almost like, it's like putting on emotional armor.
I love that.
Yeah.
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 So you're still engaged,
You're still present.
but you're not letting them control you.
Exactly.
Okay. So we've kind of acknowledged that, like, reactive communication, it's a trap.
It is.
And we've started to explore this idea of emotional detachment.
As a way to sort of shift that dynamic.
Yeah. But how do we actually put this into practice? Like, what are some real strategies
Yeah.
to actually move from being defensive to being more proactive?
Right. Yeah, that's where the article gets really good.
Oh, good.
It gives you some concrete strategies you can actually use.
Okay, good, because I need some.
Yeah, we all do, right?
Right.
For going from just being reactive to actually being proactive,
Yep.
taking control instead of just reacting to whatever.
I like that. Yeah, being in control.
Right. And the article says one of the most important techniques is anticipating conflict.
So instead of just, like, getting caught off guard by the same argument over and over,
Over and over.
you're saying we can actually, like, plan for it?
You can plan for it.
Yep.
Be prepared.
Yeah, like, how in chess you're thinking a few moves ahead?
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah.
It's kind of like
That's
that.
strategic.
Yeah, so the article says to take a minute and just think about, like, what are those recurring patterns and triggers that always lead to, like, an explosion with your co-parent?
Oh, yeah, good point.
Like, what are the things that always set them off,
Mm.
and how do they usually react?
Oh, yeah.
So once you've identified those, you can start to actually prepare your responses ahead of
Oh,
time.
that's smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're not, like, caught off guard in the heat of the moment,
Right.
and you can respond in a thoughtful way instead of just, like,
Reacting.
right,
Yeah.
with all the emotion.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Does the article have any, like, tips on how to actually do this?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
It says you could, even try writing scripts.
Scripts?
Yeah, scripts or like templates
Yeah.
for those like routine discussions that always seem to become a fight.
Oh, yeah, like drop-off time.
Drop-off times, exactly.
Always a battle.
Yeah, so you could have like a message typed out in advance, something like, just confirming drop-off is at 6 p.m., like we agreed, let me know if anything changes.
Yeah, just very factual,
Yeah.
to the point.
Exactly.
Yeah, and no room for, like, misinterpretation or,
Right.
Yeah.
No emotion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. Keep it simple.
Yeah.
So what else does the article say about being more proactive?
Well, it says that even beyond like anticipating those conflicts, it's really important to set the tone from the very beginning.
Okay.
So you're leading by example, showing the kind of communication you would like to have, even if your co-parent isn't really like doing the same. So even when they're being difficult, you're choosing to be the calm one.
Right.
Like staying respectful, being neutral.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that can be really powerful.
It can. It can.
It can actually change the whole dynamic.
Right. It's almost like you're modeling a healthy way to communicate,
Yeah.
not just for your co-parent.
But also for your kids.
Right.
Because they see how you're interacting.
Oh, that's such a good point.
And they learn from that.
They do.
So it's like a double win.
Totally.
Yeah.
And the article even has this great example
Oh, yeah.
of how just like a tiny little shift in how you phrase something
Oh, it makes a big difference.
can totally change the whole tone of the conversation.
Yeah.
So instead of saying something like, ugh, you never respect the schedule and I'm so tired of it,
Yeah.
you could say, I noticed the schedule was different this week. Can we just confirm the plan going forward?
That's so much better.
Right.
It's night and day.
It's night and day. The first one is just so,
confrontation.
yeah, like you're attacking.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the second one is more like, hey, let's work together.
Right, exactly. Like collaborative.
Yeah.
Yeah, solution oriented.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
It's setting a different tone,
Yeah.
one that's more likely to lead to
Just something good.
some actual communication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, it goes on to talk about this thing called the BIFF method.
Oh, yeah, the BIFF.
Yeah, as a way to like keep those tough conversations on track,
Okay.
which I've heard of that before, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure I totally get it.
Yeah.
Can you like explain it?
Sure. So BIFF stands for brief, informative, friendly, and firm.
Brief, informative, friendly, and firm.
Yep.
Okay.
So it's a communication, like a framework,
Uh-huh.
designed to minimize conflict
Okay.
and help you stay focused, even when things are really tense.
All right. So when we're talking to our co-parent,
Yeah. Especially about those, like, tricky topics.
the hot button issues,
Yeah, we want to keep our messages brief.
so less is more?
Less is more. Get to the point.
Don't go on and on and on.
Don't get dragged into a long back and forth.
Oh, got it.
Just the essential information.
Okay, what about the informative part?
Yeah, so that just means, like, stick to the facts.
Okay.
Don't bring up past conflicts.
Stay in the present.
Stay in the present, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And don't throw in those little emotional jabs.
Don't do it.
Yeah, you know the ones.
Yeah.
Just focus on the issue at hand and keep things neutral.
Okay.
As neutral as possible.
Okay, keep it clean, keep it factual.
Keep it clean.
Got it.
Yeah.
Now, what about the friendly part?
Okay.
I mean, how friendly can you really be when you're dealing with someone who's constantly trying to pick a fight?
I know, right?
Right.
But you'd be surprised.
Oh?
It's not about being, like, best friends or pretending everything's fine.
Right.
It's more about just maintaining a professional and respectful tone.
Okay.
Like, just a simple, thanks for confirming, can really de-escalate things.
It's like choosing to take the high road.
You got it.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Even when they're not.
Oh, and then firm? That sounds a little more.
Assertive.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that means setting clear boundaries.
No.
And ending the conversation without leaving it open for, like,
More arguing.
more arguing. Yeah.
You're not giving them a chance to keep it going.
Right. You're taking control of the communication.
Okay, so you're like ending the sentence with a period.
Exactly.
You're not letting it turn into a whole paragraph of drama.
That's a great way to put it, yeah.
Okay, I like it.
So the article gives this really good example of how to use BIFF
Right.
in a real situation.
Sure.
So let's say your co-parent sends you like a really angry email about a schedule change.
Uh-huh.
Instead of, getting emotional back, you could just reply with, our agreement says that drop-off is at 6 p.m., so I'll be there then. Let me know if anything changes.
Just like that. Boom.
Boom. Yeah, it's short, it's factual, it's neutral,
It's BIF.
it's BIFF.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's BLIF in action.
And there's no room for them to, like, twist it
Right,
or
right.
misinterpret it.
Yeah, and it's almost like you're deflecting their anger.
Yeah, you're not engaging with it.
Yeah.
You're
It's
just
just redirecting.
redirecting right back to the facts.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I'm going to try that.
Try it. It works.
Speaking of, like, keeping things factual,
Yeah.
the article also mentions co-parenting apps.
Oh, yeah. Those can be really helpful,
They can.
especially with a combative ex.
Yeah. How so?
They're like a digital referee,
Oh,
keeping everything organized and documented so there's less room for, misunderstandings.
oh, I see. Oh,
Or those he said, she said arguments
yeah.
that just blow up
Right, into something huge.
into something huge. Yeah.
Okay, so it's like creating transparency.
Yeah, transparency and accountability.
Yeah. So you can't
Yeah, no one can manipulate the situation
right, or
or change the facts.
yeah, twist things.
It's all right there in black and white.
I like that.
Yeah.
You can track messages, use a shared calendar, that kind of stuff.
Yep, all that stuff. So you don't have to have as many of those like emotionally charged conversations.
Right.
They can so easily just go off the rails.
Okay, I like that it's like a neutral third party.
Exactly.
Being like, okay, let's be civil here, people.
Let's stick to the facts.
Here are the facts.
Yeah.
All right, good.
And along with those tools, the article really emphasizes how important it is to be consistent.
Consistent.
Yeah, like establishing predictability
Oh,
through consistency.
got it.
So it's about, creating stability
Mm.
and routine,
Especially for the kids.
especially for the kids.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because when communication is all over the place, it just creates confusion and frustration.
And more opportunities for argument.
And more opportunities for arguments, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's all about setting clear expectations
Okay.
and using those tools that we talked about, like the co-parenting apps,
Mm.
to make things more predictable.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do we actually do that?
Well, the article suggests actually talking to your co-parent,
If you can.
if you can. Yeah.
Sometimes that's a big if.
It is, yeah.
But if you can,
Yeah.
what should you talk about?
Just some basic things like how often should we be communicating?
Oh.
What methods are we going to use?
Text, email, the app.
Text, email, the app, yeah.
Okay.
And what kind of information are we going to share?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Like school stuff, doctor's appointments, if the schedule changes.
Right.
Just having that baseline agreement
Mm-hmm.
can really cut down on a lot of unnecessary back and forth.
Yeah, and potential blow-ups.
And potential blow-ups.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like creating a co-parenting communication rule book.
a rule book.
Yeah.
I like it. Everybody knows what to expect.
Everyone knows what to expect.
How to play the game fairly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But of course, even with the best strategies,
Yeah.
there are going to be those moments.
Oh, yeah. When emotions run high,
They do.
especially with a combative co-parent,
Mm-hmm.
conflict is going to happen.
It is.
It's inevitable.
Yeah.
The key is, how do you manage those moments
Right.
without letting them spiral out of control?
Without letting them get the best of you.
Exactly.
And I think that's what we're going to dive into next.
That's what we're going to talk about.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot,
Yeah.
like, how to recognize those like reactive communication traps
Yeah.
and how to actually like be proactive. We've got some good strategies like anticipating those conflicts.
Yeah.
And
Setting the tone.
right, setting a good tone and using that BIFF method.
IFF.
Oh, you got
AFF. Grief.
Yeah.
Informative, friendly, firm.
That's right. And then those co-parenting apps.
Yeah. Tech can be so helpful.
Seriously.
Especially for keeping things organized and documented.
Yeah, so everything's out in the open.
Right. No more he said, she said.
Exactly. It's all right there.
But before we wrap up, there's one more thing the article talks about that I think is so important.
Okay, what's that?
Self-care.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
It is.
It's easy to forget about.
It is. When you're so busy just trying to, manage everything.
The schedules, the disagreements.
Right. And protect your kids from, all the back and forth.
Yeah.
It's easy to forget to take care of yourself.
Yeah, you're running around trying to take care of everybody else.
Right. But the article makes a good point. Self-care isn't just,
A luxury.
yeah, it's not a spa day.
Yeah, it's not just pampering yourself.
It's essential.
It's essential.
It's like if you don't take care of yourself,
You can't take care of anybody else.
exactly, you're going to burn out.
Yeah, you'll be running on empty.
Yeah. And then when you're exhausted and stressed out,
That's when you're more likely to snap at your kids, at your co-parent.
get triggered by everything.
It all just becomes too much.
Yeah, you're just more reactive.
Yeah.
So what are some things that, what are some actual self-care strategies that people can actually use?
Yeah, because I think a lot of people hear self-care and they're like,
Don't have time for that.
yeah, right, bubble baths. Who has time for that?
Exactly.
But it doesn't have to be complicated or expensive.
Yeah.
It's really about finding those little things you can do consistently that help you, like, de-stress and recharge.
Okay, yeah.
So it could be, like exercise, spending time outside. Yeah, even just like 5 minutes of meditation or listening to music, reading a book.
Right, even just like taking a minute to breathe.
Yeah, just breathe.
Yeah,
be present.
It's about finding those like
little pockets of peace.
Yeah, in the middle of all the crazy.
It's fill your cup up.
Yeah, so you have something to pour from.
Exactly. It's not selfish, it's essential.
And, I think it's important to remember that, like, shifting from reactive to proactive communication, it's not like
a one-time thing.
Yeah, it's not like you just do it and you're done.
It's a journey.
It's a journey. It takes time.
You're going to mess up.
You're going to fall back into old patterns.
Yeah, we all do.
The key is to just, like,
keep practicing.
Keep trying.
Keep learning.
And keep believing that it's possible.
It is possible.
Feel like have a better co-parenting experience.
Yeah, a more peaceful experience.
Yeah, less stressful.
Yeah, for you and for your kids.
And remember, like, you don't have to do this alone.
There's so much support out there.
Yeah, there is.
Like websites, support groups, therapists.
Yeah, it's like having this whole team.
Cheering you on.
Yeah, rooting for you.
You got this.
Yeah.
You do.
So as we finish up this deep dive, I want to leave you with this thought.
Sure.
What's one tiny little thing?
One small change.
That you can do today.
Starting today?
Yeah. Even if your co-parent is, like, not on board yet, to make your communication just a little bit better.
A little bit better.
Like, maybe it's pausing before you respond to that text message.
Oh,
or
really?
taking 15 minutes for yourself.
Good for you.
Yeah, to do something that makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Even those little things.
It can make a big difference.
They can. They add up.
They do.
So that's it for our deep dive into shifting from reactive to proactive communication with a combative co-parent.
Hope it was helpful.
We hope so.
Yeah.
And remember, you're not alone in this.
You got this.
You do. Keep those proactive strategies in mind, prioritize yourself, and know that even when things are tough,
you can create a more peaceful and productive co-parenting experience.
Yeah, for yourself and your kids.
That's what it's all about.
Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you next time.